When it comes to restorative discipline, I think it can be very helpful in certain circumstances. Not when it comes to the situation when we're dealing with bullying. Bullying comes with a power dynamic where one student has social status that gives them more power, or just generally the other student is more vulnerable because of physicality, because of intellectual reasons. Whatever it is, it's often something that honestly provokes a lot of feelings for me because I feel very protective of the very vulnerable student, a very intense level of disappointment in the student who's behaving that way. However, I have had restorative practices work very well when students who may normally not interact that much or maybe friends have conflict. I had one situation where two students who were normally friendly and played together had a real issue in class where they had been playing a game and one thing led to another and they ended up getting into a physical altercation. Now, you could just have read the situation and given them consequences and just kind of had them not deal with each other. But I spoke to the teacher and it was explained to me that these two had a relationship and had a friendship. And so I had them talk and we really got to the bottom of it where they both admitted that they had lost their temper and that they were sorry. And were able to kind of sit with each other at the end. And they even hugged and they were able to go back to the classroom. The hostility was really over and they were able to reset and everything was restored. Its harm has been done. Can we restore it and get it back to a baseline? I personally went to a middle school where physical fights were very normal. They were par for the course, and that was sort of the culture. And I remember that I, at the time, had one student who I felt like was going to become physically aggressive with me. And I asked the administration if I could speak to her one on one, just the two of us, because I sensed that that might actually be able to resolve the issue. And we did sit down, and I think honestly, my candor with her and my openness with her made her so uncomfortable that the beef was resolved and she left me alone from there on out. So I do believe strongly in the power of restorative practices when it comes to those sorts of things. And I've had plenty of students in my offices who have come out smiling and hugging, and friendships have been restored. So I do believe it can be very effective in those areas. And it doesn't always have to have a punitive component because we do want to model to students that we can resolve conflicts, that we can talk through things. Our goal is always to help students learn how to work their way through conflict and restore things back to a place where there is trust established and there is a sense of care and communication that they can get back to.